Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming. I'm Randy Reinhardt, and I know absolutely nothing about indoor football. Well, that's not entirely true. This past season, I was the sideline reporter for the Destroyers, but really that's about it. I'll take it back. Back in 2007 and 2008, I was the TV voice of the Destroyers all the way to Arena Bowl, but I think that's not true either, because back in 1991, I was the voice of the Thunderbolts as well, too. So my name is Randy Reinhardt. Indoor football is my life. It's exciting, it's fun, and it never rains indoors. We're here to celebrate some good news about the future of the indoor game here in the capital city. We'll feature a handful of speakers in our climate-controlled environment today with a great new twist on the indoor game. But first, let's learn more about what's going to happen today.
For generations, Columbus, Ohio, and football have been synonymous. Whether it's Friday nights or college football Saturdays, Columbus, Ohio loves football. And when the indoor version came to town, through it all, Central Ohio fans and businesses showed up in a big way to support the indoor game. It's just what we do here. Throughout the country, there has never been a problem with the indoor football product on the field. The games are a blast. And for years, they have produced action-packed pro sports events at an affordable price. The problem has been associated with the staying power of the leagues. The league has shut down on us here in Columbus twice in recent years. Now, thanks to a new partnership between the Indoor Football League and Steve Germain and his family, we are going to raise our game. The Indoor Football League was formed in 2008 and has provided hard-hitting action around the country for 11 consecutive seasons. Because of its quality of play within a sensible financial model, the IFL has not only attracted legions of fans and strong corporate partners, but also some well-known teams like the Iowa Barnstormers and the Arizona Rattlers. The IFL has 13 teams for the 2020 season, including a Steve Germain-owned team in the Dallas suburb of Frisco, Texas, and for the 2021 season, the Steve Germain family will bring a new team to Columbus, Ohio's Nationwide Arena. And that is just the beginning of the Steve Germain family's commitment to produce a high-quality, sustainable indoor football product for fans to enjoy in Columbus and around the country. Effective today, Steve Germain and his family, in partnership with the Team Management LLC of Columbus, will direct the business operations offices for the Indoor Football League, establishing new offices at 225 East Spring Street in downtown Columbus.
The IFL is an opportunity that we see is the answer to indoor football and to the wonderful game that it's been, and we're excited about the opportunity to move it forward.
Through a license acquired by the Steve Germain family, the new business operations division of the IFL will advance all media, including league, national, and international television broadcasting and digital streaming, all league-wide sponsorship, and licensing. Additionally, the new office will direct the IFL communications and creative departments and provide sales and marketing training to IFL member teams. Together with our IFL team partners, we are focused on raising our game.
So in the next 45 minutes, we'll learn more about the league, the leaders, and the teams. We'll open up the floor for questions, offer some time for one-on-ones with our speakers as well, and most importantly, offer you lunch. And to begin the introduction of our starting lineup, I'd like to introduce Gary OBrien. Gary is the Director of Communications for Columbus Arena Sports and Entertainment. Gary?
Thank you. I am Gary OBrien, Director of Communications for Columbus Arena Sports and Entertainment, which includes Nationwide Arena and the Schottenstein Center. This is a very exciting morning. As we all know, Columbus is a very enthusiastic and supportive sports city. So we are especially excited to welcome Steve Germain and his family as we partner with the Indoor Football League right here at Nationwide Arena, starting with the 2021 season. We very much look forward to a great partnership.
Thank you. That might be
You've heard of the right car, the right price, the right way. Now it's the right football, the right way. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Germain.
I don't get this kind of reception at home. We should do this more often. Well, maybe not. Gary, thank you for your kind words and for taking the time to be with us this morning. First of all, I'd like to express my family's sincere appreciation for the opportunity to once again partner and work with the wonderful people and total professionals here at Nationwide Arena. Since 2001, the Germain family has been Blue Jacket season ticket holders, attended hundreds if not thousands of concerts and ice capades, been a tenant of the building through our previous ownership stake in the Columbus Destroyers, and most importantly, friends of the McConnells. To continue that relationship through the partnership with the team and our good friend Dave Wedeman is an opportunity that we couldn't be more excited about or proud of. Dave, thank you very much. While our mission here relates to the advancement of a quality indoor football league, the approach will be similar to that of the Germain Automotive Group's mission statement and core values. It's about attracting, developing, and retaining exceptional people to deliver an outstanding experience, whether it's on the showroom floor or on the football field, realizing this by living our core values. We are here today because of our genuine love for the indoor game and our belief that it's a great asset for our community and for our brand. Having the support to bring the new IFL business division here to downtown Columbus will ensure the league's long-term success and support our interest and ownership of not only a new IFL team here in Columbus in 2021, but in Frisco, Texas in March of next year as well. Let me just take a minute to talk about Frisco, Texas. I don't know if any of you have been down there, but it's a wonderful market, and we're so excited to have been awarded the opportunity to operate an indoor team there as well. I've spent time there over the last couple of weeks and I have a lot more to learn about the market, but what I do know, next to Columbus, Ohio, there's no better market for indoor football. As a matter of fact, Frisco is referred to, and I'm not sure how they refer to it themselves, but Sports City, USA. Some of you in this room would challenge that. The Frisco Fighters will be led by the 2019 AFL Coach of the Year, Clint Dozel, and will open their season March 12th at the Comerico Center in Frisco, Texas, against the Duke City Gladiators. I love the names of these teams. Go Fighters. Again, I want to take this opportunity to thank my family for their support, the folks here at Nationwide Arena, the Commissioner, Todd Tryon, and the indoor football fans here in Columbus, including Dogman. Where's Dogman? There's Dogman. And I'd like to just thank you for your patience while we raise the game. Thank you very much for coming.
I'm surprised Dogman didn't wear the jersey today. I think he's had the same jersey for the last 12 years.
I have.
2 words, wash it, please.
He's raising his game.
He's raising his game. Raise the game, but not your arms. Thank you very much. We thank Steve for his insight, his leadership, and his time. It's time now to meet the man that is the overseer of the Indoor Football League. You talk about knowing an organization inside and out. In the last 20 years, I don't think this man has ever stepped outside. He's been a player, a coach, an owner, and now the new leader of the Indoor Football League. Folks, please help me in greeting the Commissioner of the IFL, Todd Tryon.
Thank you, Randy, and I want to thank the Germain family, Steve and Jessica, and Dave done an outstanding job. I've got my own personal chauffeur the last 2 times here, Titus. I don't know where he's at, but outstanding job of hosting and open arms and so inviting. That's the number one thing that I've seen. This is my second trip here in the last 3 weeks, and I can tell that the Germains have created a special inviting culture that is going to be fun to work well with our league moving forward. And so, there was a great video that kind of showed some of the history of our league. We are going into our 12th season, and it was a combination of 2 leagues, the United Indoor Football League and the Intense Football League that formed in 2009. And through the years, we've had some great ownership groups, and we've been able to add over the last couple of years. And I'll tell you, our vision as a league as we move forward, it has always been to get to 16 teams, to where we've got 8 in the Midwest and 8 in the West. And I got to tell you that the new relationship with Dave and the team have kind of got us reevaluating what our vision is as we move forward. But as we sit here and look at the 2020 season, we're going to have 13 teams and a lot of storied franchises coming over from other leagues. Probably your closest opponent right now to Columbus will be Quad Cities, the Steamwheelers, which is a team from a former league. You got the Barnstormers, is probably your second closest. The Arizona Rattlers they're a storied franchise, and personally, I come from a city, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and we've had football there 20 years. And I was a coach for 5 years. I'm sorry, I was a player for 5 years. I coached for 4, and in 2009, I had the opportunity to buy the team and was an owner. I owned the team for the last 10 years, and most recently, I sold the team and took this position. And and to brag a little bit about Sioux Falls, we pride ourselves in the winningest team in indoor football history. We've won, under my ownership, we won 7 championships. We've been to 16 straight championship games, winning 11 of them. And so it was fun to go into Arizona this past year in front of a sellout 15,000 crowd. They were undefeated, and went in and knocked off Kevin Guy there in Arizona. And so a lot of history with our league, and we're excited that the opportunity to add Frisco. The great market down there. They are a sports-hungry town. I don't know if it's quite like here in Columbus, but looking forward to Columbus in 2021. Kind of the relationship with Dave, it came about pretty quickly, and everything's about relationships, and he had a great relationship with a guy down in Arizona called Kevin Guy, and you guys will get to know and probably not like Kevin Guy as we move forward, but and then it was brought to me, and it didn't take long to sit at the table and realize that this was the type of group that our league wanted to partner with. You're always looking for great people to do business with, and it was pretty evident from the start that Dave and the Germain family is the type of business that we wanted to get into business and advance our league on a bigger scale. And that's ultimately what the team and the business operations here in Columbus are going to do. It's going to expose our product to many more people around the nation. And so we're excited for the relationship and seeing where it's going to be. And most likely it'll have me back here in Columbus, but I was told that my courting period was over after today, so I may have to Uber, or Steve is one of the few that still uses the yellow taxi. I may have to look at that. But just a couple more things here I'll point out is, our game, we always like to say we're an entertainment, and a football game just might break out. And we've got quality athletes as you start to look at our rosters. They're from major D1 programs. I've seen 2 Ohio State Buckeyes come across the transactions. Up there in Spokane has recently signed 2-year Buckeyes. And, our coaches, and we feel we've got the best coaches in indoor football. And, adding Coach Olive and his staff, I'm sure is going to be, it's going to be fun when he gets to compete against some of the other, very well-known coaches. And they hired a great one down there in Frisco, and Coach Dozell, he's one of the, if not the best in the previous league. And so our coaches and our players, you guys will notice the talent on the field. You'll notice the excitement. We're a lot more like outdoor football brought indoors. Just our rule set is very similar to the outdoor game. And so if you can follow the outdoor game, you can follow the indoor game, pretty easily. And, probably the last thing is, the significance of adding Columbus, it just goes back to, the rich football tradition. Columbus, it comes to the edge of our Midwest. It may potentially allow us to go into the East. We have not made that commitment yet, but adding Columbus it's kind of an anchor market here in the Midwest. And, same way as down south, adding Frisco. So, Steve and the Germain family stepping up and making the investment and putting 2 great markets into our footprint is only going to secure our future. And so we're really excited about those 2 programs. And I'm going to wrap things up here, and once again, thank you for the opportunity. And I'm going to pass things on to Jessica, but I had a chance to come to a Blue Jacket game here 3 weeks ago, and sit with her, and it's pretty evident, just viewing how she handled the staff, and I think little Bo was at the match. They're matches, aren't they? They're not games. Was at the match. I could just tell, just by the way she treated people, this is the type of family that we want to be a business with. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass things on to Jessica.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate the opportunity to reiterate my family's enthusiasm for a chance to reconnect with the sport we began to love 15 years ago. Like so many in this town, in 2004, we joined other first-time spectators right here, ready to watch a sport we loved be played in a venue we love in the heart of the city. Here we witnessed a fast-paced game played by highly skilled players in a very unique and intimate setting. Within just a few plays, we simply were hooked. And based on the crowd level, or the noise of the level of crowd noise, it was apparent Columbus was too. Whether it's witnessing a fan catch a football that he gets to take home, or cheering on our players as they return a kick for a touchdown, or even watching the fans, both young and old, run onto the field post-game for autographs, this game raises the level of spectator involvement and excitement of any sport we've watched. In 2007, after winning playoff games on the road as underdogs and clinching a spot in the championship in New Orleans, my family recognized that the competition can be just as fierce and the rivalries just as intense as any other professional sport. Again, we were hooked. Now it's time to make new memories surrounding the sport. We look forward to trips to Frisco and around the country as we build new teams and the IFL Business Operation Division here in Columbus. We take it seriously, the opportunity to partner with this sport, this league, and this exceptional arena. Our family has been season ticket holders at Nationwide Arena since its opening in 2000, so it's only appropriate to continue to build and grow that relationship by making sure that this team calls this arena home in 2021. We want to acknowledge and address the disappointment that my family and other fans have shared of losing two teams in the city before. But we can assure any skeptics that we all have learned a lot from the past and intend to implement those lessons in the future. The IFL has a proven track record of 11 seasons, and our goal is only to enhance its sustainability and league awareness to raise indoor football to its tremendous potential. One thing we want to do to regain our loyal fans in this community is to make sure that everyone who purchased 2020 season tickets for the Destroyers gets complimentary season tickets to the opening season in 2021. So if you purchased tickets for the 2020 season, please send an email message to tickets@columbusindoorfootball.com, and we will make arrangements to give you season tickets to the inaugural season in 2021 here at Nationwide Arena. Everyone else should anticipate the opportunity to purchase season tickets starting in February when we announce the team name and logo. It's certainly a season you won't want to miss. We've already begun forming a very strong team in Columbus, as you will see when you meet some of our coaches in just a few minutes. We look forward to great games and loud Columbus crowds. In the meantime, we continue to focus on our responsibility as leaders of the IFL's new business division and look forward to work associated with raising our game. Along with our IFL team partners across the country, the family feels the indoor game is in the right hands, and we all pledge our best efforts to get the job done the right way. One thing the league and the team owners requested immediately was the development of a new team logo, new league logo, so we're happy to present you with that now. The logo and shield will enhance the identity of the league and are only the first steps to strengthening its foundation. Now I'd like to turn it back over to Randy to introduce the rest of the team. Thank you.
Jessica, thank you for the level of excitement and innovation you are bringing to the league. By the way, we talk about the Germain family, Dr. Tryon. Is not IFL kind of a family affair for you guys? Who did you sell the team to?
Who did I?
Yeah.
A family of there's three separate ownership groups that, they were all sisters.
All sisters, and they're running an IFL team, so that should be a lot of fun as well, too. All right, next I'd like to introduce to you a man that has spent half his life working to make the indoor game better and better. Like Commissioner Tryon, he has experience on just about every level of the indoor game. He's an innovator, a great X's and O's man, an incredible organizer, and PR expert. Did I read that correctly? And probably, this is important, does the best impersonation of manager Lou Brown from the movie Major League of anybody I've ever seen. Management.
Thank you, sir. No, I'm not going to do it. I'll do it tonight.
All right.
You know, when I left the office last night, there was a big, bright, full moon. And I was walking to my truck smiling. And then this morning, when I left the house, that big, bright, full moon was a little lower in the sky, but it was still shining. And it just occurred to me that today is really, you know, an answer to prayers. I mean, I could put it no other way. And it's just such an exciting thing. And I've had this feeling before. I've had it quite a few times, but most significantly, I'd like to share a couple of the answers I've received over the years. I want you to meet my boo, my wife Jenny, right back there. Our sons, Will Wedeman, right there. Will is a sophomore at the Ohio State University after having served 4 years in the United States Coast Guard, commanding search and rescue missions. And his little brother and our beautiful young son, Stevie Ray Wedeman, is also a Buckeye, having just been accepted to the Ohio State University, where he'll enter as a junior in January. So proud and happy for you guys to be around our indoor football lives when you're old enough to understand what the hell was going on. But I want to say thanks very much, Brian, for being here from the Sports Commission, all of our media friends. Thank you, Breeden, JD, Cam, from Case and from the Blue Jackets. These relationships mean so very much to us. Gary, we appreciate your kind words today. We understand that because we've been here, that we're in a great house. We're in a great market. And when you evaluate a pro sports opportunity, and that's what our company, the team management, started out to do, and we've been doing for almost 18 years now. One of the 4 things we do is putting buyers and sellers of professional sports teams and entertainment companies together. And when you evaluate, I don't care if it's the NHL, if it's the IFL, or if it's Major League Baseball, whatever it might be, the criteria for evaluation is typically the market. Well, this market gets an A+. The venue, you can't find a better venue than this one. And then, quite frankly, when you're buying, let's just say that the existing management doesn't have to be an A to make it an attractive acquisition. So in some ways, when we were going down a road that Todd can tell you had not one thing to do with the IFL when we first started considering an acquisition and a leadership role for the Germains. One thing I've always said is that these transactions never, ever, ever end the way they start. But never have I been involved in one that has taken such a hard turn, you know, to where we started looking at a preferable opportunity, and there's no other way to put it. Commissioner Tryon, I really appreciate you being here again with us twice in, it's been less than 3 weeks. I think it's probably been about 15 days. I'm grateful for the effort, but I also really appreciate you for just the process of managing this transaction. Has been a pleasure, and I appreciate the good treatment you've given us, all the considerations, and I think we've really set the table to help advance the game, and I'm grateful to you. Thank you very much. Obviously, it's customary at events such as this one to make reference to the good people that are supporting this and making it possible. And but I have to tell you that my friend Steve Germain is so much more than a financial supporter for this exciting project. This is a man that, you know, I've known for, it's hard to believe, 15 years now, since Austin was in high school, and I think you were maybe, Jessica, a freshman in college, if I recall correctly. And this is a man, I'm going to tell you right now, who knows his business. He knows his business. I would bet right now you could ask him how many cars the fill-in-the-blank store sold in November, and he'd give you the number. I promise you he could. He knows his business, and he expects you to know your business. He's a man that, along with his wife Kim, has parented a family of superstars. And you'll get to know them and you'll see what I mean. In this particular endeavor with the Indoor Football League and our management of the league business assets and a team here in Columbus, they've placed Jessica in a leadership role, and we're very, very fortunate that that's the case. I'm going to tell you, I'm just really over the last couple of months become well acquainted with the adult Jessica. You know, I was acquainted with the college girl Jessica many moons ago, but this woman right here is sharp as the edge of town. This girl is a very, very intelligent attorney and successful businesswoman, but Jessica, you carry yourself with a grace that is just incredible, and I'm so proud and happy that you're with us, and I'm looking forward to continuing with you. I want to say that the Germain family, you know, has a lot of reasons to be proud. They really do. They got a lot going for them. But I don't know that I've encountered a family that like this one, that has a smile for everyone they meet and understands that an act of kindness is never wasted. So I want to commend you and Kim, Steve, on such a great family. And the whole crew's here today. Well, but for Zach, the whole crew's here today. Austin Germain's with us. Jessica's husband, Jeff, is holding their newest edition Ryder, Ryder's 5 months old now, I do believe. And they have a Stevie, just like my family does. That's Stevie right there. Hi, Stevie. And over here with Jessica is Bo. So we got E. Will and Stevie Ray. We got Stevie, Bo, and Ryder. I couldn't have named your kids better myself. It's awesome. I just want to say one more thing about my friend Steve. If you could know just one thing from this conference today, know this: that Steve Germain, he conducts his business and his life, for that matter, in such a way as if like he believes every word he says or every action he takes, that he's like signing his name to it. That's the way he carries himself. And you know why? It's because he is. And he's committed to not only the advancements of his business, but the advancement of the new, the next generation of his business, as you come to see for yourself today. They have the slogan that Randy quoted about the right car, the right price, the right way. I can tell you that for the Germain family, the right way is not a slogan. It is a way of life. So I'm so grateful to be blessed with such a great ownership group. I want to tell you that I'm really looking forward to the Q&A here when I know I'm going to be asked why the hell I might think that the indoor game is going to succeed now. And when obviously it hasn't, not just here in Columbus, but a lot of other places. Don't get me wrong, we've had some great times with the indoor game, but there's certainly, there's been league closures, there's been teams that have left. And I'm looking forward to answering those questions, and I think Steve is looking forward to me answering those questions, quite frankly. But before I wrap up here, I will tell you this much before we go to the Q&A. I don't care what kind of business you're opening up. You have to first start with an economic model that can work. And as fundamental as that sounds, believe me when I tell you, most niche league sports never ever had that. So they never really ever had a fighting chance at success. Some of them started with them and then wandered off. But ultimately, the first box you have to check off is this a feasible model? Then if it is, there's 3 other boxes you better be able to check off. One is funding. You can't fake funding. Ask the Alliance of American Football or so many other. And it is, football league closures aren't limited to the indoor game. It's expensive to play football. And it's hard to get people to care. But that's our job, is to get them to care. Also, you have to have management expertise. We've seen many instances where there have been well-funded and well-intended groups and individuals who thought it would be a groovy idea to get into the indoor football business, but brought no management expertise to the table, and you'll just as surely fail if you don't have that. And just as important as funding and management expertise is time to get the job done. And here in Columbus, with our new team, that, as Jessica alluded to, we'll be announcing a name of sometime in February and go on sale with our tickets. We're going to invest a full year in building the bases. Our season ticket holders, our sponsor partners, some of whom are here right now, our friends from Pete Abilities are here. I think Dr. Kessler's in here somewhere, another one of our partners. Hell, Hot Dog Wally's here. So what could possibly go wrong? We've proven at the team management that given the time, given the tools, that we can produce tremendous results. We've sold this arena out for entire seasons with the Destroyers. We've led the league on 3 different occasions in sponsorship sales, breaking the $2 million barrier that no one had ever even approximated. But now we get to do that under an economic model wherein if you do those things, you're gonna thrive, and that's a little bit different. I'm going to wrap my comments by explaining how obviously you got to have a plan, you got to have a model that works, but you got to have people that can carry it out. I'm going to introduce someone. I'm going to ask them all to join us up here, and then we're going to introduce our new head coach, and we're going to give you a visual that this wasn't a good idea that Steve and I had over beers last weekend. This is something that we've been working on, and we've gathered some really great people. And I want you to know that we're going to attract more good people, and we want good people to seek us out. Go to ohioindoorfootball.com and let us know if you're interested in being part of our team, because we'd love to talk to you about it. In Frisco, we have my old dear friend and co-founder of my company, Stephen Evans, serving as the team president. We have Nathan Murrell, who's a tremendously talented graphic person who you see some examples of his work. Chrissy Deeb is a longtime veteran of professional and college sports who will work on the sponsorship side in the Dallas suburb of Frisco. Here in Columbus, and I'd like you to join me up here when I call you, first of all is my dear friend and business partner, Titus Donnell. Titus will serve as our Vice President of Finance and Administration and our General Counsel, and along with Jessica, the two legal minds that we have with us are going to keep us on the right path. Brother, I am so proud to have you with me today. Excuse me. Also, my dear friend and our Vice President of Operations, Mr. Ken Bailey, joins the team for this endeavor. And both of these gentlemen will be serving both in their capacity with the team here in Columbus, but also with the team in Frisco and with our league-wide endeavors. Also, our Vice President of Corporate Partnerships, Becky Long, is here with us today. Becky, come on up here. Our office manager, Ashley Stillwell, is here. Ashley, come join us, please. You've seen our production crew. Anthony and Michael are working, so they won't join us on the stage right now, but they put that video together and that you saw today, and you'll see a lot more of their handiwork. I also want to introduce our broadcast team. You've met Randy, our television play-by-play announcer, and I'd like for you to also meet and welcome our radio play-by-play man, Todd Bell, and from the Ohio State University, our color commentator, Mr. George Cooper. Coop! Before I bring up Coach Olive, I'd also like to ask all of our Germain family members to join us. Ryder, if you're fussy, that's okay. You don't have to, but come on up with us, Austin, please, and come on, Bo. Come on, Stevie, come on up. All right. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce somebody that I've known for a long, long time. When Stevie Ray and Will were still in diapers, my boo Jenny, excuse me, used to refer to Bobby Olive as our oldest son. And I would tell you something about my man. First of all, you all know him as a great player at Ohio State, as a receiver for the Buckeyes. He was part of that famous game when Earl Bruce went up north to win his last game, and then the rest of his career he played under Coach Cooper. Went on to the NFL, CFL, NFL Europe, And then I had the opportunity to meet him when I coached him. He was an original Destroyer when the Destroyers were in Buffalo, New York. I'm going to tell you, this guy right now, I guess it's television and it's radio, but I'm going to tell you, this guy will kick your ass. This man is a competitor to his core, but he also has a heart, and he understands that, that our program is built on players that will fight like hell for them. Please welcome my good friend and the head coach of the Columbus Indoor Football League team, Mr. Bobby Alvin.
Thank you. Well, hello everyone. Thank y'all for coming out. As I look out, I see a lot of my ex-teammates. Started with Jim Casados, George Koo, D. Miller, my man, Obi Stillworth, my ex-roommate, Vince Pookie Workman, Winfield Garnett here, and Stanley Jackson. I'll introduce you guys in a second. But first off, we up here talking about all the business model and all that talk, which is great, because in order for this league to be established and be able to be successful, you have to have a good business model ran by smart people. And that's the one thing I'm most excited about, the fact that not only do I get an opportunity to be back into sports, football and coaching, but I get a chance to be around smart ownership with Germain family, and I'm so proud that I'm able to be a part of it, because I know if you just look at the success of Germain Auto, it's very successful, and I'm just really happy to be a part of it. Secondly, let's talk football, because I'm not, I let Dave and Steve handle all that business talk, and Austin and Jessica. And I'm looking at Jessica and Austin because I remember they was like little kids. Especially Austin, he all grown now, and so I'm looking at him like, man, what happened? So Jessica looking just like Steve, just like little twins. So she went to Michigan too, by the way. I just want to throw that out there. But we love Jessica. We love Jessica. She's smart as hell.
And named her son Bo.
Right. Oh God. So they thank the Lord for all of that. But it's going to be exciting to work with this family again. We go back about 30 years. It's crazy. But I want to introduce you guys to our staff. And the one thing about, when you call yourself a good coach, you're successful. Any good coach that's out there just made really good decisions by going and hiring really smart people. And that's something that I consider myself a pretty smart guy myself, but I had to go out and hire really smart people. And these are people that I've had relationships with for quite some time, who I personally know, some actually teammates with. I just want to quickly introduce them. Our offensive coordinator, co-offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, great quarterback of Ohio State back in the mid-90s, Stanley Jackson. Me and Stanley have something in common forever. We both wore the jersey number 8, so he's my number 8 brother. Right. He said he was better, but I tell him I was better looking, so I'll let y'all decide that. Secondly, Winfield Garnett, he'll be in charge of our offensive line and defensive line, and also co-defensive coordinator as well. He's from the Buckeye, played in the mid-90s. Great guy, great player. Winfield Garnett. Lastly, this guy I'm about to introduce to you guys played with me back in the World League. I met him about 24 years ago. We played the NFL Euro back in '95 with the Frankfurt Galaxies. We had the opportunity to win a championship together. I was the MVP of the team. I led the league in touchdowns, catches. I was the main guy. I pretty much carried the team. So Cecil Doggett, who's he was a defensive back on our team, very good special team guy, very good one-on-one cover guy, very intense player. And as you will see when the season starts, he's super intense, and I looked at him do a great job with our defense. My main man, Cecil Doggett, we go over there. And as you know, our season's not going to start. It's just another smart decision that I think we made for this team. We're not going to start our regular season until there's a full year to kind of learn the league and get adjusted and do some scouting and really make sure we make really smart decisions on the players that we bring in, because we're going to be really picky about players we pick to be on this team, because not only do we want them to be a good player on the field, but off the field, we want them to be good guys in the community, to represent our brand well, to be great brand ambassadors out in the streets of Columbus, out in the city, downtown Columbus, in various areas. We want our guys to really represent the team well. I don't have the name of the team yet, but I'm sure we're going to have a lot of fun and maybe have some fans who can come up with the best name. Maybe we can do something special for them for the regular season once we figure out the name of our team. And lastly, you know, as a coach, listen, I know all the other stuff as far as the business side. You know, we want to do good. We want to have a really good model. We want to have a good fan base. But we're here to win. I mean, that's why I'm here. I'm here to win. I've always won at each level, whether it was college, pro. As an arena football coach myself, I coached in Canton Legends. We won a championship twice, back-to-back years in a row. So I know what it's like to go out and find guys who actually love to play this game, because it takes a special guy to play arena football. And you know, if you're a guy that played NFL, recent, you know, you might feel like it might not be for you, but it just really take a really special guy. This guy's about, you know, guys who are really quick, fast, speed. You can be undersized, but you can play if we found a spot for you. I guess the number one job for me and Stan would have to be to go out and find us a good quarterback. I'm looking forward to doing that during this off season. Basically, what we're going to be doing is we're going to kind of review the whole league. I'm sure I'll be texting Commissioner Tryon a lot, and about this guy too. I met him last night, went out to dinner, and I'm looking at him like, okay, I know he say he was commissioner, but I'm looking at him thinking like, he looked like a player, like he played. So it turns out he played, and you know, I saw how he was looking at me. I figured, well, maybe he was a defensive back. He would kind of, you know, a defensive back kind of up down you a little bit, look at you, and try to, okay. So I think he's trying to punk me or something. I don't know if he's trying to punk me or what, but he's a great guy, and he's a very knowledgeable guy. So I definitely picked his brain on just learning more about this league and things we might need to do to be successful. But all in all, thank you guys for this opportunity. I want to thank my man Dave Wedeman. This guy, let me tell you something about this guy. I met him 20 years ago. I know his wife. I know both his sons who are now grown men now. I mean, I literally remember when they was like 1 and 2 years old, running around the kite facility up in Buffalo. We played with the Buffalo Destroyers, who eventually became the Columbus Destroyers. So I met Dave like 20 years ago, and you know, he was like a father figure to me, but he's not that old, as you can see. He looks great. He's more like an Uncle Dave. He's more like Uncle Dave to me, but he's my guy. I trust him, I love him to death, and I'm looking forward to working with him. He'll be our general manager, so I'm just really excited, guys. And the bottom line, guys, we're here to win. So I'm not going to make any guarantees, but I can tell you this. We're not here to just make the playoff. We're not here to just have a winning season. We're here to try to win the championship. And I've seen it done in the first year because I've done it before. And we look forward to winning the championship. Thank you, guys. And I appreciate the opportunity and Q&A.
Get ready.
Todd, can you grab that extra mic back there? Your radio voice, Todd Bell's going to go around with the microphone.
Okay.
Surprise! Folks, that wraps up the organized portion of our press conference. Coming up in a couple minutes, we'll offer some one-on-ones with our speakers, plus lunch. But first, we have some time for some questions I'm sure you want to ask for the assembled multitude up here. So, Todd Bell, the mic just activates with a little push on the bottom, I think, there. And there's a power button on the side. It's your radio voice, ladies and gentlemen. Along with Coop. Coop. I remember Denver, Coop. We had a chance to win that game. With the Thunderbolts, we had a chance to win a game. Remember that, 1991? I was at Jim Carsanis, my longtime broadcast partner there as well, too. 2 drunk guys in Denver wanted to pick a fight with us. I was about 5'11" and 155 at the time, and Jim handled both of them for us, so we say thank you for that, Jim, to this day. Anybody with any questions you'd like to ask of anybody up here at all? I'll start it. Oh, go ahead. I think Obi's got one.
Yeah, first of all, congratulations, Bobby, for this position. I want to know what were some of the things that attracted you to kind of come back home, if you will, to Columbus?
Well, Columbus, Ohio gave me my first opportunity coming out of high school. I go back to a guy by the name of Earl Bruce. I'm sure y'all heard of him. Coach Bruce gave me a chance to come on as a walk-on back in '87. And I always had special love for him, special love for the state of Ohio. I was able to break through my freshman year, played a little bit, played side by a guy named George Coop over here. I actually remember him scoring a touchdown. I think we were playing Oregon. Was it Oregon? Oregon Ducks. Coop scored a touchdown. I called myself blocking for him. I just remember I got a picture and everything of that. So I have special memories when it comes to Ohio State. It's like home to me. I had a pretty, what I would say, a decent career here, and I actually brought my family back here. I moved back to Ohio State back in '99. Lived here for like 14 years, then I moved back to Atlanta. So I have a lot of love for Columbus, and when this opportunity came available, it just felt right. Me and Dave been talking about this for like, years now about this opportunity. So it just felt right, Obi, and the one thing I know is that I'm surrounded by a lot of friends. Here is just like home to me. So as I look outside, I see a lot of guys I know personally, from a teammate standpoint and personally. So I'm just excited to be back, and it was an opportunity I just could not turn down. I'm excited to be a part of it.
Thank you, Coach. Get used to that. Anybody else with a question? Boots of Auto Smarts Radio, presented by Germain Honda of Dublin, Saturday mornings from 8 to 10 on News Radio 610
Good cover.
WTBN.
Steve will be joining us Saturday.
Thank you very much.
I have a question for Dave. Being in media, I'm new to it, about 11 years now. But how can we get the rest of this city to step up to the plate? Auto Smarts is in.
Yep.
We got the legend on our side too. But how do we get the media behind this? And we all love the Buckeyes, but we got to get the powerful big three behind us here in town. How do we do that?
Well, first of all, we're very grateful for them being with us today, and I appreciate the question, Boots. We have some very, very specific philosophies as it relates to the populations we serve. And these are philosophies we've built over 30 years. And they start with us, the people within our organization, the people that you've just met. Then it moves on to our partners, the people who are, our broadcast partners and our sponsors. We have a philosophy of trying to create doable, meaningful deals that are manageable for our new partners, that give us a chance to build a relationship. As it relates to the two other populations we serve, one is the media, and the other is the general public, potential ticket buyer. And if you don't come into our industry understanding this simple fact, you are in the wrong business. And the simple fact is that we understand that Columbus, Ohio has been around for a couple hundred years and only had an indoor football game for maybe 10 of them, and they would be just as happy to go another 200 years. They don't care. They have their own things that they need to care about. The media in this town has so many compelling things to cover. We understand that just because we're excited about it, the people you saw up here, doesn't mean that the general public or the media is excited about it. It's our job to make them excited, and we understand that. We understand, as crazy as it sounds, that they don't care. And let me just finalize that comment by saying this. Invariably, I don't care if it's the recent exit of an indoor football league that I loved and spent a good part of my life in, or if it's a team in any sport, major, minor, niche level, whatever it is, that leaves a market. Invariably there'll be a podium like that with an owner or a president talking about how they've got to move on because they just didn't feel like they got the fan support that they deserved. Well, if you're making a comment like that, you're just explaining that you don't know your business. Because in our business, fan support, media support is something to be given, not received. And we understand that.
Thank you, Dave. I think it's ironic. I used to be Todd's sideline reporter. Now he's my sideline reporter for this event here today. Anybody else with a question? Yes, right here.
Would you be able to explain so there's going to be new IFL business operations here in Columbus. Would you be able to explain, is the headquarters of IFL moving here, or is it a new office? If you could explain that to me.
You want to take that, Commissioner?
Sure I will. So, kind of the business operation side of things, the partnership that we've created with the team is they're handling all of our the inventory that the league controls, such as the digital rights and the social media platform and areas like that to once again get our logo and get our product out to the masses. And so, we've got myself, I reside in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, so the commissioner office will continue in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We've got a chief financial officer that is in Baltimore, Maryland, so that remains there. And this is just, we're opening an extension of, we're expanding our league on the business operations side, and that's ultimately what's being housed here in Columbus.
Anybody else with a question? Right there.
I'm not sure who can answer this, maybe Coach Olive, I'm not sure. Where are you guys going to be doing your practicing and stuff at? Have you finalized any of that? Have you worked on any agreements with any area facilities?
That's something we're working on right now. Right now, we're looking at the Bo Jackson facility out in Rome, Hilliard. Possibly, that's probably the #1 place on our list. We probably work out something with them, so we work out there more than likely.
I have one more question, Coach Olive.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready, baby.
Are you ready? Because I'm ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
You're a long time. I'm ready.
I'm ready. I know it's been a long time. I'm ready.
Fight, 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 fight. Anybody else with a question? If not, I have one. It's the elephant in the room. Commissioner, the level of play in the IFL, compare that to what we saw in the Arena Football League. How would you compare the level of play in the IFL to the defunct Arena Football League?
Very comparable. What you will see is just a different style of game. And I was talking with Coach Olive last night. He was floored at the fact that we've got 3 guys that go in motion, and I know the DC over here is going to have his hands full. That we run probably a lot more zone. You see a lot more running of the ball. You see a lot more running quarterbacks. We feel like we attract a better athlete to our game. The bigs up front. I mean, it was always a bidding match, and it was competitive. We were fighting over the same athlete between us and the Arena Football League, and we won some of those. They won some of those, and at the end of the day, we always felt that we were comparable, if not better.
Anybody else with a question? All right, seeing none, I will thank you again for your time, and we'll have our speakers available throughout the room for one-on-ones, and also offer you plenty of food to sample, and you'll still have time for that corporate lunch as well, too, so take another 2 hours. So enjoy the day, and remember, raise our game. Thank you very much.